Hey everybody, happy Fresh Start Eve, and welcome to the stream. Thank you guys very much for being here. Esme, John, Mendy, Lael, Patrick, 777, Robert. Welcome guys. Hope everybody is doing well today.
Well met.
Wow, got a lot of potions in the bank. That's cool.
Be careful.
Lael, I get it, man. I totally understand. I don't like paying for 2 subs either, because I really can't afford it. And if I play on EU, eventually I'll probably just let my US sub lapse. Especially since I'm not playing retail anymore. But yeah, I definitely understand. I don't like giving them my money twice either. So, but I still don't know what I'm doing. I still don't know what I'm doing for sure. So I'm just going to play it by ear tomorrow and go from there. Just trying to see if I can sell these. No, they don't really sell for a lot. What was I doing on this character? Apparently we got stuff to do over in Westfall. Aaron, good afternoon. Welcome to the stream. You're mentally preparing to play on Friday and not Thursday? I mean, if you play on Friday and not Thursday, like, at least that initial rush of people will have cleared out a little bit, you know?
What can I do for you?
Let's jump on a flight. Yeah, it drops really late in the EU, right? It drops at like what? Like, is it like 11 p.m. in most places? I think that's why they're doing it. Usually they do these at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which ends up being 6 p.m. my time. But I think that ends up being the next day for people in the EU. So I think that's why they're doing it at 2 p.m. Pacific, so that it barely squeaks in. Like in the EU, it'll barely be the same day. 11 p.m. I knew it, yeah. 11 or 12. 11. Yeah, they usually do it at 3, and I think they stopped doing it at 3 so the EU people couldn't complain that it's technically the next day. Because now it's technically the same day, except, yeah, most people are not going to have a lot of time to play when the server goes live at 11 p.m. That's absolutely true. It's as late as they could while honoring the launch date. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And guys, I still don't know what I'm doing or where I'm playing. I know I thought I decided yesterday, but I haven't decided yet. And I'm not going to decide. I'm going to decide tomorrow when the servers are up and I'm making the character, and like that's when I'm going to decide.
Well met.
Yeah, no, nothing's decided.
Light bless you.
Nothing's decided. I wrote a lot today about like my thoughts about the fresh start, my thoughts about like classic. So I wrote a bunch today, and you know things are bad inside my head when I have to like sit down and write everything out. And that's what I had to do today. I was working on it like right up until I came. That's why I was like almost late to the stream, as I had been writing a bunch of stuff out, trying to like organize some of my thoughts a little bit better. Ooh, we need everything here. I think we haven't really even started here yet. Yeah, we need everything. I should probably, John, I like that. Oh, I thought that was for me. John, you said you should probably not even play. I thought that was at me, and I thought that'd be funny with how, like, indecisive I was if you were just like, yeah, you shouldn't even play. Because I had that thought, too. Oh, that's funny. I see now that that was not meant for me, but I read you probably, I looked up and read you probably shouldn't even play. And I thought, well, damn, that might not be wrong. So with the chaos that's been going on in my head, like, I've definitely felt that. Like, maybe I should not even do the fresh start. That's a fair point. Might not be wrong. Oh, come on. What? What? We almost had that one. Yeah, you're on the fence about the new servers, but all the other servers will be dead for a while. Yeah, exactly. And it's funny that you say they'll be dead for a while. And I think that part is the important part about what you said. They'll be dead for a while. Which is it's kind of hinting at this idea that eventually people are going to go back to their homes. You know? Like, people are going to do the fresh start. They're gonna get a character to 60. Maybe they see some content. Maybe they don't. And then, but eventually a lot of people are going to go back to their homes. Which for a lot of people is classic era. You know, for some people maybe it's Cataclysm or Sod. And it's like, it's almost implied. That in and of itself is kind of worrisome too. I remember the Fresh Start server of Maladath. This was my last experience with a Fresh Start server, and it was the server where I said I would never do a Fresh Start ever again. Because we had other characters, right, that we had already leveled on, like, servers like Mankrik and servers like Westfall, but they opened the Maladath servers as a Fresh Start server prior to Wrath of the Lich King opening up. And so, like, everyone got hyped for the Fresh Start. Oh, a Fresh Start. What's better in WoW than a Fresh Start? Not much. So everyone does the Fresh Start. We spend all the time leveling the character up, which we didn't have to do. We had characters that were capped, that were, like, ready to be taken into to Wrath, including the Tauren Warrior, who I took in eventually anyway. Get to level cap. I even did a couple of raids. I did a couple of Nax runs on Maladath, and then I didn't log in to that version of the game for a few weeks. And then the next time I did log my Paladin into Maladath, I was the only level 80 in Dalaran. The server had been completely abandoned. This was phase 1 of Wrath still. Like, I don't even think Ulduar had come out yet. This was like Nax still. And the entire server had been abandoned. From me being able to do multiple pugs, within a few weeks, people had gone back to their home servers. So there's that. And then, like, and these Fresh Start servers, like, they're going to be in the vanilla era for a long time. And, like, if you're a vanilla era player, then you already have characters on various vanilla servers, whether it's hardcore, or it's PvP, or PvE. So there's a big chance that, like, people level up in the Fresh Start for a while. Maybe they cap a character out, maybe they see some content, maybe they don't. But then they go back to what they were doing already. And they wait for TBC to come out, because TBC will be new, in the sense that we haven't had it in a while. And that's kind of what I think is going to happen. Just quit and delete both subs. Exactly. Just cancel both subs. Just start full-time Final Fantasy XIV play. Streamers are going hardcore. Yeah, and, like, the funny thing is, like, I'm not a streamer. I am not, like, in that boat. I know they're all going hardcore. I would have liked to have gone hardcore. And, like, you know, if the hardcore servers were to ever move to TBC, you know, then I would definitely do it, but nah, I kind of, like, we started to get into this conversation when I was playing on Whitemane, but I kind of want to find a nice cozy home. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Like, just a nice cozy home. And, yeah. I don't know. fresh start tomorrow? For some of us. Yeah, for some of us we'll have a fresh start tomorrow. I think there will be plenty of people that abstain. For reasons. Yeah, see, if I was playing retail, I wouldn't have time to do a fresh start anyway. So I understand that. The no GDKP thing is good. I do like the no GDKP thing. And it gives me hope that like one day we open up looking for group and we you know, we don't see GDKP raids, like any pugs that go out will be just legitimate pugs. You know, or people could not run as many raids because the guilds that can organize those things don't have as much to gain. You know how it's like a double-edged sword. Like, no GDKP is good from the perspective of a player who doesn't want to pay gold for items, but then again, if there are less pugs going out because guilds don't stand to profit from doing the GDKP, then is less groups better? Is less groups without GDK better? I guess it would be. For me, it is. For me, less groups without GDKP is probably better. But it is like a kiss and a curse type of deal when you do something like ban GDKP. I keep thinking that I'm a skinner on this character, but I'm not a skinner. What am I? I am an herbalist. I need to be tracking herbs. Which heretofore I haven't been doing. There we go. Yeah, Lael, people who like EverQuest, you know, it's hard to convince those people that any other MMO is an MMO. Because people who still play EverQuest and like, love EverQuest, those people are deeply rooted. As deeply as I'm rooted in playing WoW. Like, those people are deeply rooted. Like, I don't think any other MMO out right now is really worth a damn as an RPG. So I would say, like, I'm deeply rooted in Classic. And those people who are deeply rooted in EQ, like, it goes even deeper. I turned EQ on one time when they did one of their fresh start servers, and I couldn't even figure out how to make my guy attack. Like, I'm sure it was something really simple. Like, I tried everything. I couldn't get my guy to, like, do an attack ability. So, at that point, it was kind of a no-go. I'm looking forward to Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. Pantheon Rise of the Fallen looks like it's meant to be modeled after EverQuest, but with like a fresh coat of paint while still maintaining like that classic look and feel. So I'm looking forward to Pantheon. That's coming out December 15th into early access. So I hope to play the crap out of that. Hopefully it'll be good. JP, good afternoon. Welcome to the stream. Did we yeah, we found all of our sacks of oats, so that's awesome. We need 1 okra and then like 1 billion of everything else. Let's go ahead and turn this quest in. What's the best way to approach the fresh servers in my opinion? You're unfortunately talking to a person who still doesn't know if they're going to play on US or EU realms. You are talking to a person who doesn't know for sure what faction he's going to play tomorrow. I'm unfortunately not in a great position to give anybody advice. I tried to make a pros and cons list of all my various choices. That led to me writing like a 3-page essay about like some classic stuff. So I don't know. What would you guys say? How are you guys approaching the fresh start? And in your guys' opinions in chat, what's the best way to approach a fresh start? Because I don't know. And I've tried to approach it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make all my decisions like probably tomorrow as I'm logging in. And I'm just going to choose things in real time, and then I'm going to live with the consequences. So how it's going to work is they're going to open new servers. There will be a PvE server, a PvP server, and a hardcore server. The PvE and PvP servers, you're going to have about a year in Classic Era, and then they're going to roll into TBC, so it's going to act kind of like a progression server. Except the progression is going to take an entire year to get through vanilla content into TBC content. But yeah, there'll be new servers. I'm not sure if they'll have a new tab. What I noticed today when I logged into Classic, and maybe you guys noticed this too, they removed the hardcore tab. The hardcore tab no longer exists in the server list. If you look there, the hardcore servers are now simply listed in the Classic Era tab with the hardcore in their server type. So I thought like maybe they're changing that because they're going to put these new realms in their own tab, and maybe that tab is going to be called 20th Anniversary Fresh Realms or something like that. And maybe that's why they had to remove the hardcore tab. Maybe they're limited to how many tabs they can have. Was kind of something I thought about. There's an anniversary tab right now. Oh, see, I didn't see that when I logged in. You say there's an anniversary tab now. You know I'm going to going to look at this. Like we're going to look at it right now. And so yeah, let's have a look. Because I didn't see this earlier, and I did switch servers earlier. I had to flip over from like being in a hardcore server. I had to log out and find this server. So I didn't notice that. Let's see. Change realms. Yeah, I don't have that. I got seasonal and Classic Era. Maybe it's a difference between EU and US. Or maybe I don't have an update. I don't know if that's possible. But yeah, like as you can see, the hardcore tab was removed, and now the hardcore servers are listed here. Yeah, it's EU. Okay, well that's strange. I wonder why you guys got that and we didn't. But yeah, there you go. It looks like it's going to be in its own tab, which is going to be where the hardcore tab used to be, and that's where you'll find the fresh start servers. Boop. In the EU right now, you have a seasonal, anniversary, Classic Era, and hardcore. I wonder why it's so different. You guys saw the hardcore servers were in my Classic Era tab. I wonder why it's so different. EU tend to get things first, which is interesting because we get our maintenance first. We get our maintenance on Tuesdays during the morning and day, and you guys get yours like late overnight. So it's interesting that you would get changes first when we get our update first. It's kind of weird. Maybe they just use you guys as like a test. Maybe they're like, well, we'll just see if we can break it for the EU people. Maybe it'll break. Maybe they just use you guys as like you're like the guinea pig. Because otherwise it would make more sense for the US to get the changes first, since we technically get the game files updated first. New servers start tomorrow, yes. Yes, they do. Ding. What was I going into? It looks like I was going into increasing my chance to dodge. Interestingly. But we're down. Let's go maybe chance to hit. Although grabbing deflection, I need deflection to get into riposte. So I'm gonna grab deflection. So the servers are launching tomorrow at 2 o'clock Pacific time. So 2 o'clock Pacific time, if you're in the Eastern time zone like I am, that's 5 o'clock PM. If you're in the EU, then that's anywhere between 11 PM and midnight, I've been told. I don't really want to run into this guy. Let's mark him like so. Let's go to the north and try to get our Murloc eyes. We also need one more Okra. PvP servers will be a gank fest. Not until people are in contested zones. And even then, like, I feel like the best time to level on a PvP server is right at launch. Like, that might be the only decent time to level on a PvP server, is just right at launch, because then there aren't any high-level people that are going to be able to gank you right away. And if you're someone who can play quite a bit especially, it's good, because then you can kind of get ahead of the curve, and then at least when there's fighting, you know, the fighting happens, like, at a decent level. Man, I miss playing on the fucking PvP server so much. This is on white main. I'm on white main right now. Like, nobody can come snipe me because, you know, it's not a contested zone. But I miss playing on the PvP server so much. It's hard to express, like, how fun that was for me. It was so, even like the parts where it got frustrating, I was still enjoying it as much as I could. You think they'll have open 3 PvP servers by midnight tomorrow evening? You think the demand's going to be that big? They said these servers are going to be big. They said they're going to be big servers, so they shouldn't need too many of them. And I mean, yeah, but I do feel like you're right, because people tend to play on the PvP server, so like, the idea of them getting away with only having one PvP server does seem kind of ludicrous. Because more people tend to play on PvP than PvE. They'll have 89 layers. Yeah, it's got. Yeah, I think the size, I think, is comparable to a mega server. And then, yeah, how will Blizz handle that? Are they handling it with 89 layers? And is that something that we're fine with that now, I guess? We're fine with layers. Are we fine with layers now? Everyone's cool with layers? We like the layers, we want more layers. A lot of people starting with hardcore, then they can go PvE. Yeah, we thought about that too. We thought about starting hardcore and then transferring over to PvE. A layer is like another version of the server. It's like if you're in a different layer than me, you can be standing right next to me and not see me. Like, I'm in layer 1 and you're in layer 2. It's the same server housing it, but it's different partitions of the server, basically. It's layer. It's almost exactly what it sounds like. You're in the same place on the same server in a different layer, so you may or may not see people. Like a dimension. Yeah, think of it like a different dimension. A parallel reality where we could both be in the same spot at the same time but not see each other. Like, in your reality, these mobs may or may not be dead. You know? That's the best way to look at it. That's definitely the funnest way to look at it. It's the WoW multiverse. PvP to PvE transfers are allowed. Usually PvE to PvP is not allowed. Hardcore to PvP is not allowed. But typically you're able to transfer from PvP to PvE. Like, I had to transfer my paladin off of Whitemane, which is PvP, over to Mankrik, which is PvE, and I was able to do that. I don't know why they would have different rules for the Fresh Start servers. PvP on hardcore, yeah, that would never work. Oh, that'd be so bad. That'd be terrible. Yeah, they would never do that. It would never work. Can you imagine, like, players having the ability to kill other players permanently? Just out in the open world, the level of griefing that would happen? It would be truly awful. If they were allowed to have hardcore PvP, humanity would actually reach new lows. When you log into a PvP Classic Era server now, it says at the bottom of the notice, it's not possible to transfer your characters from a PvP realm to a normal realm. What? Yeah, we definitely did that like 3 or 4 weeks ago. I had to transfer off of Whitemane. So if that's true, if that's a change that they're making, then I was one of the last refugees to move my character from PvP to PvE. I wonder, like, what is the point of that? Oh, you know what, like, do you think they're doing that to cut down on the amount of people that attempt to play on the PvP realm? You know what I mean? You know how, like, obviously, like, all the big streamers and stuff, they all play on the PvP realm if they're not doing hardcore. And so that's where their communities want to play. That's where people choose to play. People have just become accustomed to trying to play on the PvP realm because it's the highest pop. Do you think they're making it like so you can't transfer to discourage people from playing on the PvP realms? Because obviously, like, you know, the thought is, well, like, you know, if I don't like it, I can transfer off. Oh, well, now you can't. So maybe that will encourage more people who are uncertain about PvP to just roll on the PvE realm instead. Because now they don't have an off-ramp, you know? Somebody in a different layer is actively taking my herb. That is already being used. Yeah, I was using it. I was using it, and then it stopped my channel, and then I can't loot it. What class am I going with for release tomorrow? I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know, and I'm not gonna continue to... I'm not gonna keep feeling guilty about it. I just don't know. Maybe I'll know by the end of the day today. Maybe I'm not gonna decide until I'm making... I don't even know what faction I'm going. I don't even know what region of the world I'm going to play in. I don't know. I don't have these answers. I don't have any of the answers. I'm gonna have to make a comment. Here we go. Oh dear God. Okay, let's see. This is probably fine. We have potions. Let's pop a potion. I'll stop typing for a minute. Okay, let's do that. This guy will come back to die eventually. There we go. I will just pin this to the top of the chat. And people can take a look at that. I have no clue what faction, race, or class I'm going for the fresh start. I don't even know what region I'll be playing on, ... I feel like that summarizes it just fine. I feel like that's good. I forgot that sapping them pops you out of stealth. Is that true? Sapping the enemy pops you out of stealth? I guess I didn't even really know that. Do a poll. I can't do any more polls. I did some polls yesterday. I never do what the poll says. Yeah, it's kind of a waste of your guys' time. It does break stealth unless you have the talent. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. What do we got going on over here? I think I'll take one of these guys off you. I will take this guy off of you. Thank you very much. I will pop evasion here. Yeah, I should do EU for the raid option. Yeah, but will I raid, and when will I raid? How often will I raid? I'm really not a person who's gonna want to raid every week. That's kind of like the reality of me, where I'm at today, as opposed to like when I was in my 20s. Is like I used to kind of think of it as like an activity. You know how some people they go bowling twice a week and that's like kind of the thing they do. I used to think of raiding like that because I used to just primarily raid log in the game. So like, you know, we'd have 3 raid nights a week and I was always super stoked to like go to raid night and like hang out. And that was how like WoW was in my 20s. So I did that. And so like where I'm at now is like the idea of raid logging doesn't even really appeal to me. Like, and it hasn't appealed to me in any version of the game. It hasn't appealed to me in Classic, it didn't appeal to me in SOD, it doesn't appeal to me in Cataclysm. Like, sometimes I like seeing a raid, getting a little bit of loot from a raid, but it's like, I don't know if I'll ever be at a place where I'm ready to, like, be there every Tuesday and Thursday and just do that repetitively. I'm not sure. So, like, I could play on the EU with the premise of, like, it would be easier to raid, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna become, like, a weekly raider. So I'd really have to like have my own group or like find the right group of people to do that with. And then the other thing that I've encountered, like the way I stream, it's kind of hard to stream and raid. It's kind of hard to stream and raid because I can't be on comms in the raid and run the stream. It just doesn't work. So there's that too, you know. Then NA, yeah, like I can't be. That's what I learned in Cataclysm. Like we did a couple of Cataclysm raids on stream, and like trying to be in comms for the raid and doing the stream at the same time, and trying to manage the audio for both and be attentive to both and respond. Like it just doesn't work for me. Like maybe some people make that work for them. Like I can interact with chat and play the game, and that's basically all I can do. It becomes really difficult to listen to Discord, to interact in Discord, to do the proper callouts, while also playing the game, while also like hanging out with you guys. So like if I do raid, people are gonna have to accept the fact that like I'm never gonna be in comms. I'm not gonna be in comms when I raid. I'm gonna be in the stream, and then anything that needs to be said to me just has to be said either in like party or in the stream chat, because those are the only places where I'm gonna be able to like have communications. Let's see. What can I do here? Could probably, ooh, if I sap somebody though, they're all gonna come at me. That's okay. Let's sap down here, and let's just fight the rest of them. Always sap the caster. Fair point, yeah. That's a fair point. I'm pretty sure we have everything we need. Yeah, we got the Murloc eyes. So we need vulture meats, and that's it for that one. Knoll paws we can go after up here. We need about 1 billion Gortusk livers because none of them have liver. I could pop some elixirs. I definitely could. Yeah, I should pop some elixirs. Absolutely. Body type A or B? Definitely body type B. Yeah, yeah, that one I already know. That's the only thing I know. At this point, it's just to elicit the YouTube comments that ask me, why always body type B? Why, bro? Why is it always body type B? What's going on, man? You okay in there? Like, it's just to elicit those comments at this point to feed the algorithm. Oh yeah, they added the old guild interface back into the game. That's awesome. Because looking at the new guild interface in Classic Era was pretty awful. So, yeah, it's like the people asking that don't understand the idea of something being aesthetically pleasing. You know, it's like, well, I mean, why do you think? Use your imagination. You can probably come up with some reasons why. Oh dear God. I think I've made a terrible mistake. I think we're gonna sprint away from this one. That was not really what I wanted to do. Let's just shake it off. Alright, now we go back. Look at how much hardcore's prepared me for these tough pulls. I mean, what prepared me for these tough pulls was like, you know, playing the game back in 2004, 2005. And just dreading doing the spirit run. I've been prepared for a while, thankfully. Is there an experience boost on the fresh servers, or is it normal? Sour Mouse, good afternoon, buddy. Welcome. It is, there's no XP boost, yeah. There's no XP boost. I mentioned in a video that it would be nice to have like the 40% XP boost that we saw in Season of Mastery, and somebody didn't like that. They thought that that was crazy. They thought it was crazy because they clearly like didn't level a character in Season of Mastery. Season of Mastery was like really good classic era leveling. And the 40% XP buff helped you out in that level 40 and 50 range when like you run out of quest and you have to do a bunch of grinding. It just kind of smoothed that out a little bit. You still had to zone hop and like do every quest you could, but you could do every quest you could and not run out of quest. And it was good. I still had time with the 40% XP buff to level up Herbalism Alchemy to max on that warrior, so yeah. But no, they're not giving us anything. Experience boost would kill the hype. I would argue that it wouldn't, because it didn't kill the hype for Season of Mastery when they launched Fresh with that. That was their first classic fresh start, was Season of Mastery. It was really hype, people were super stoked, and it launched right out the gate with a 40% XP buff. And I would welcome a 40% XP buff. Like, I don't need it, it's fine. But I would definitely welcome it if they wanted to put it in. Now the caveat to that is I would never want it to increase. In my opinion, experience buffs are best set and then left alone. I would be fine with the 40, and that's where they seem to have a hard time. They seem to have a hard time like leaving the XP buff alone. See Season of Discovery. And even during Season of Mastery, one day I logged in, and my 40% XP bonus, which I really adored, had become a 100% XP bonus. Do you guys want to know what happened once it became a 100% XP bonus? I lost all motivation to play, and I quit Season of Mastery. The day it was 100%, it was like, oh, okay, well, I guess that's over. So there is a line that you cannot cross. And that's where they have a problem, is like, they tend to step over the line. Like, they don't know where it's at. Patrick, thanks so much for the super chat, man. I appreciate that. I'm excited too. I am finally a little bit excited. It usually takes me until like the day of or the day before to actually feel any hype. Because I've just purposely built up barriers to hype in my time. In my times of being disappointed by everything in life, I have built up barriers to hype. And I try to keep hype at bay for as long as I can. But I'm starting to feel it, so it's good. Now I have to decide what I'm going to do and where I'm going to play, and we'll be all set. I think I need to go into this house. Pretty sure we need the pocket watch, or whatever it is that's in here. Robert, you're going with the Warlock? That's cool. We got on the Warlock yesterday and played for a bit, and like, Warlock's a fun class. One day I will level a Warlock. It's not going to be my first. I kind of like what I'm doing right now. This was the character that I was supposed to be playing right now. Like, before I had to leave Whitemane, before I was playing on EU, before I was getting stream sniped, before we thought that we were going to have a fresh start, before I went back to hardcore, this was the character that I was supposed to be playing right now. This was the rogue we started on Whitemane, and I thought Whitemane was going to be a nice little cozy home, and instead I got murdered here so many times by people in this very chat. Probably not right now, but they were at the time. And so part of me just wants to play the rogue. Maybe not this rogue, but maybe just play a rogue on the fresh start, because this was what I was supposed to be doing. So there's that. And so there's a part of me, though, that just wants to do this. There's a part of me that just wants my human rogue. The character that was meant to be before everything else. Let's head over to the mine. The mine is always fun. Yeah, they said it might go into Wrath after TBC. Ian said it on stream. Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know that they had soft confirmed that it may. I mean, you know, saying that it may go. I think that depends probably on like playership, right? Like, are people playing it? Do people seem excited for it? And then, you know, it'll probably go into Wrath. Yeah. Man. It's tough. Even choosing faction is just tough at this point. I kind of like, I hate everything on the Horde side except Blood Elves. I don't like any of the races. I don't like any of the cities. I like a handful of the zones. Like, if I'm thinking about Horde zones that are not shared with the Alliance, the Barrens is the only one that's actually like special to me, that I really like. So it's tough, because I can't play a Blood Elf right now, and I'm thinking like, is it worth it? I'm gonna play something like, I don't know. It's tough. I wish we could just play Blood Elves. If we could play Blood Elves, then I wouldn't care. It wouldn't matter. Have I played a Shaman on Classic? Yeah, a couple times. We haven't got one to 60, obviously, but I've played it. I got a hardcore Shaman going right now on the Horde side in a recorded series. Our inventory is full. I know no one is probably shocked about this. We have a couple of clams to open up, so that's good. The inventory's not really full. We just got clams. The inventory is still kind of full, to be fair. It's fuller than it ought to be. We got clams again, yeah. Sometimes you get clams and they never really go away. If you got clams once, the clams are going to come back, especially if you're fighting Murlocs. What professions are good? I mean, in a fresh start server, any profession can be good. Any profession has the, you know, the chance to make you gold. Any profession can help you out. I think the the best question to ask is like, what profession are you likely to stick with? What professions are going to make you not hate your life? Like, are you going to want to mine a bunch of iron? Are you going to be more comfortable just skinning beasts and picking herbs? Because anything can be profitable and useful. Oh dear. Let's hope he doesn't pull anybody else. I feel like he's gonna pull at least one other person. Oh, he hasn't pulled them yet. Okay, we might be fine. That was sketchy though. Really, really sketchy. Oh, we got respawns popping in. That's great. Okay. Let's hang out over here for a second. I don't have a throwing weapon or anything, do I? Oh, I do. I do have a throwing weapon. Okay, I have it bound right here. I'm just stupid and not paying attention. Cool. Well, I have no inventory space, so looting the chests. Well, let's see, we could eat the cheese. Let's eat the cheese. I can drop the banana maybe? With a 4-slot bag I really don't need. Oh my god! Ninja! This guy just... I was totally gonna open that chest! He ninja'd it from me when I was cleaning my inventory. That's fair. It's fair. I didn't call dibs. Oh my god. I didn't say tag. Right. I didn't tag it. Oh my god. I can't believe it. Oh, look at this! Oh god, I can't even take all of it. You can have it, man. My inventory's full anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna let him have it. My inventory's full anyway. Oh, look at that though. What a nice guy. I never would have done that. Yeah, see, I'm not a nice person. Cause like, I never would have done that. I would have felt bad for like taking somebody's chest, but I never would have like approached them or tried to give them the items. Like, I would have just suffered my guilt for the next couple minutes and moved on with my life. So yeah, that's why I'm a terrible person. Faith in humanity is restored. Let's not go too far. Let's not go too far. But yeah, there are some good people out there, thankfully. Maybe I should head back to town. Or at least we can head over to the Saldaean farm, which is not very far from here. Yeah, let's go vendor. We can always just come back.
Greetings. Light bless you.
Yeah, the AH restriction on new accounts sucks. My account just passed that. It must have been like maybe a few days ago that I just passed the 30 days. Uh, 30 days is a long time though. It's a long time. Buffalo Bill, good afternoon, man. Welcome to the stream. Wow. He is running really, really fast. What a speedy little guy. Yeah, they are adding dual spec to the anniversary servers. It's not going to be in at launch, but they said it'll be in soon. So whatever their timeline for soon is. Could be a couple of weeks after launch, it could be the first patch. But yeah. Blood Moon, good afternoon to you. Happy Wednesday to you as well. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, we're just playing this character today because I miss this character and because there's really nothing else for us to do. We're just hanging out. I wanted to get on the rogue because, like, this was supposed to be the character that I was playing right now. Back before I had to stop playing on white main, this was, like, supposed to be my next big playthrough. And so I thought I'd jump on and take a little whirl around Westfall for maybe the last time in a while if we go Horde side for the fresh start. Part of me is tempted to just recreate this character on the fresh start realm and go from there. Because yeah, this was supposed to be it. Why did I have to stop playing on white main? Because I had people who were stream sniping me constantly. And it wasn't an environment where I could do a bunch of dungeons because there weren't a lot of dungeon groups going out on white main. A lot of the dungeons were boosts or things like that. So, yep, I had a couple of people who they just wanted to spend their time sniping me. It became impossible to quest. It was a lot of fun while it lasted. When I found out they had an entire Discord for their salacious lifestyle, I decided that was a battle I was never going to win. Oh, hey, we leveled up. Look at that. Boop. Did I ever think about trying Throne and Liberty? Yeah, I played the beta test for like 10 minutes. It's not for me. I'm not a big fan of modern MMOs, and it seemed like it didn't seem bad. It just seemed like it was going to be another modern MMO, and I'm just not interested. I might do a rogue tomorrow. I don't know what faction I'm going on yet. Part of me feels like I have to go Horde side, because I would like to play Blood Elves eventually. A part of me realizes that I don't like any of the other Horde races, and that's going to make for a tough year. And then, like, What I don't like is I don't like playing Horde side and then like the expectation's gonna be like when Blood Elves come out I have to re-roll. Like, and maybe by then I'll be ready for a re-roll. You know, that's like a year from now. So like maybe I would be ready for the re-roll. Maybe it would be something that I'd be looking forward to. I don't know. It's hard to say. But yeah, it's kind of weird to start on a faction with the idea that, oh, I'm going to start on this faction, but only with the concept that I'm going to go play a different race when they open up later on. I don't really like how that feels. But then again, like I said, I don't know. Like maybe when in practice, maybe it would be something I would be fine with. I don't know. I must have sold my stringy vulture meat, didn't I? There's no way that I don't have any vulture meat. Yeah, I must have sold it. This seems like something I would do. Yeah, he might still have them. Depending on, like, when I sold them, you know. If I sold them on my last visit, then he might still have them. If it was prior to that, then probably not. What would I do 16 to 18, like after getting these quests done? After this, I would probably go back to Loch Modan. I'd probably go back to Loch Modan and do the lower level stuff in Loch Modan.
Need help?
Well, if I did sell them, they're not here. There's a possibility that I didn't have any, you know, that I didn't sell them, that I never had any. I guess that's a possibility. It seems unlikely, but maybe that's what happened.
Go with honor, friend.
I kind of like the flow of the rogue gameplay a lot. It has a really nice cadence to it. I feel like we keep momentum going pretty well from pull to pull. Very enjoyable. Michius, thanks for being here and hanging out with the stream. I am doing well. Alright, there we go. That's all of the bird meat we need. We're still looking for one more Gortusk liver. And we still need a bunch of The Knoll Paws. Let's head north here and see if any of those camps are currently up. We don't really need to do that one. I mean, it's yellow still. But I think I'd like to get it done since we've already progressed it halfway. Did rogues get better in TBC compared to vanilla? I'm not sure. They were really good in vanilla. Rogues and mages are A tier DPS. So like the only S tier DPS is the warrior. And then A tier is rogue, mage, and maybe warlock or hunter. So they were pretty good in vanilla. I'm not sure if they get better. They probably get a little bit of AoE. Because I don't think in vanilla they really have much, if any, besides like a little bit of cleave. I'd like to peek inside the chest, but I don't know if I can fight 4 of them. I could sap one. You know, I could probably do it if my evasion were up. Oh, hi. But without evasion, I don't know if it's a good idea. Mr. Santa, I really appreciate the 5 months. Thank you for that, and thank you for being here. Ashbad, good afternoon, buddy. Welcome to the stream. You think rogues were S tier in TBC? It's possible. They definitely didn't get worse, so it's possible that they got better. They got more poisons and some AoE. That sounds right. Yeah, I think I might play a rogue. This was the class that I wanted to play next anyway, like before we started doing hardcore stuff. The rogue was supposed to be my next big, like, vanilla era playthrough. So I think I will do a rogue. I'm having a lot of fun on it. The combat's like very cathartic. Like I just kind of get into a flow of fighting. It just feels good. Like I have to think a little bit, but not too much. I have buttons to push, but not too many. Like it feels pretty good. So I think, and then this way I can't get roped into being a tank, and I can't get roped into being a healer. I just get the DPS stuff, and other people can worry about tanking and healing. Preferably other people who are not also trying to have a stream. It's too hard for me to like stay focused enough to tank when I'm like leading the group and I'm deciding the pulls, if I'm also streaming. Like one of the two things is gonna suffer. As a DPS, like if I'm a split second late to a pull, or if I make some minor error, it's not as big of a deal. I can typically still keep my numbers competitive. Even if I'm getting distracted by like my third rant in the dungeon run. I'm always going to get distracted by something, you know? There's always going to be like a topic that comes up that I want to talk about. It's just kind of the nature of it. So like being a straight up DPS ultimately is going to work out better for me. Were rogue tanks a thing? They were a thing in Season of Discovery. Yeah, if you're thinking about rogue tanking, you might be thinking about Season of Discovery. Alright, so yeah, we're done with everything besides the Nolpals as far as like the stuff we want to do right now. Let's head over this way and see if any of these camps are up. Yeah, I feel like the rogue is a class that starts off good in vanilla and then it just gets refined. In TBC, it just becomes an even better version of itself. We leveled a rogue in TBC era. It could have been Wrath era, because it was the first time they did the Joyous Journeys. We leveled up a rogue, and it was a lot of fun. I can't remember if that was TBC era or Wrath era. Okay, that is that. That's everything. Let's get it all turned in. And after this, I think we'll head over to Loch Modan. Yeah, to me the best classes are the ones where I want to fight everything, because pushing the buttons is fun. And this class definitely qualifies for that. The warrior is similar as well. Like, I will just fight everything in my way. I have fun fighting everything. Like, I don't mind grinding for long periods of time when it's a class where I like pushing the buttons. And there are like different degrees of that, to the point where I know I'm not really digging a class when I'm trying to like avoid combat, when I'm like navigating an area with aggressive mobs and I find myself like weaving between them and ignoring them. That's when I know that I'm on a class that I'm not enjoying as much as I could be. But on the rogue, I feel like, yeah, I just want to fight stuff because it's fun to push the buttons. It's fun to watch the enemies go down under a flurry of blows. It's very enjoyable. And it obviously feels very fast-paced. Yeah, it is a serious decision. Yeah, it seems like it's kind of silly, but it kind of is. I'd like to have a place that, like, that's going to be home for a while. That's what I thought I was finding on Whitemane. It's what I thought we were going to have to carve out for ourselves on Mankrik, and now we're doing a fresh start. So it's like, I would really like to be on a faction, in a place, enjoying my character. I want to just be enjoying my character or characters for the whole duration of the progression, like whether that takes us into TBC or into Wrath of the Lich King. Like, I'm fine with both of those expansions. Those are eras that I like, and I just want to make sure that like I enjoy the first character that I make, and then I'm not stuck in a spot where like I'm re-rolling, you know, a couple months down the road. So yeah. I know that, like, no matter what I do, I'll be able to have fun with it. But I just, like, want to think, like, a little bit more long-term.
Hey there. Safe travels.
Yeah, Horde side zone hopping is really easy. Like, you have a Zeppelin right outside of Orgrimmar that's going to take you over to Undercity. That makes your life so much easier than having to take a tram
What can I do
or having to get on a boat.
Farewell.
Also, the run between Mulgore and Durotar is not nearly as dangerous as, like, the Wetlands run.
See you around.
Like, basically no danger involved at all. And it doesn't take that long to do it. Yeah, the zone hopping is much easier on the Horde side.
King's honor, friend.
Lots of things on the Horde side are, like, easier from, like, a navigation standpoint. Zone hopping is easier from a navigation standpoint. Getting to the dungeon entrances, like, they're basically all more accessible to Horde side players than they are to Alliance side players. Stuff like Wailing Caverns, Razorfen Downs, Razorfen Crawl, even things like BFD are just, like, a little bit easier reached on the Horde side. But the downside is that you have to play a Horde side race.
Hello.
And you have to level in Horde side zones like Durotar. That's the downside. The downside is the aesthetics and the questing are not as good.
Safe travels.
At least that's how it feels for me.
Be careful.
Like, there's lots of technical advantages, but the aesthetics and the questing are not as good.
Have a good one.
Make a horde rogue and then later on make a blood elf. Yeah, later on though is like a year from now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I thought about that. Like, I could go like orc. I can do an orc rogue, and then like later I can level my blood elf paladin. If that's what I want to do, or whatever, like I could do that. I just don't want to spend. I don't want to spend the next year, like, looking forward to re-rolling. That's mainly what it is. I would rather immediately be playing something that I might want to play forever, for the duration of this progression. I would rather right away be playing something that I want to play for the duration of the progression than to anticipate a time when I may completely re-roll. And I feel like if I go horde side, then I'm basically setting myself up to be waiting the year to re-roll the character. I don't know. And that just feels kind of bad. I don't mind orcs, but if you're comparing the orcs to the humans, like to the character models, there's a huge difference in like detail and quality. The difference in quality and detail and care between like the human model and the orc model is like night and day. It often literally feels like they did all the horde stuff last, and it got kind of like some of the least amount of effort. Until they got to Blood Elves. I don't know. And the thing is, I like Draenei too. I like the Draenei. So if I play Alliance side, like I still have Draenei to look forward to. They're not Blood Elves, but you know, they're blue space goats, and so that's pretty good too.
Light be with you. Go with honor, friend. Light bless you.
What can I do for you? Be careful.
Looking for something specific? Have a good one.
Yeah, like the problem is also like vanilla is going to be a year, so there's a chance that like before BC comes out, there's a chance that we'll already have alts. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be maybe more than a calendar year before TBC even launches. And like,
Well met.
I basically like all of the Alliance races, except I don't really care for gnomes.
Be careful.
But I like gnomes better than I like any of the original Horde races. So, like, that feels bad.
Go with honor, friend.
Like, there isn't an Alliance race that I hate. Or that I just flat out dislike. I don't tend to play gnomes. I think that the camera perspective is too low. And I think it's weird that they only have 3 fingers. So I don't tend to play gnomes. But I really like humans, I really like dwarfs, and I really like night elves. And I can't say the words I really like about any horde race besides blood elves. So like, is it really worth it? I don't know. I don't need milk. I do need this agility cloak. That's a nice quest reward. Look at that. The bread I can probably sell.
Safe travels.
And I would love to do a little bit of cooking, but they don't have... Oh, wait. Nope. There's no open fire here. Oh, I wonder if I can cook right here. I've never noticed this. Have you guys ever noticed this? This little heater, furnace, whatever the hell it is, over here in the corner with the two chairs around it, huddled together for warmth. I've never noticed this in 20 years, that this was even here. But I bet I could cook here. Look at that, I can cook here. I never noticed this before in my life. It's crazy. Absolutely insane. Are they resetting Classic back to Vanilla era, or is it just a hardcore wipe? No. It's neither of those things. Nothing is being wiped. Nothing is being reset. Blizzard does not reset existing servers. Blizzard will never delete your progress. I have characters in WoW that I've had since 2004, and they have never been deleted or wiped. They're still on the server they started on. They're opening up new servers. So they're opening up a handful of new servers with new Classic Era progression. That's going to take us through the Classic Era patch content, and by next year, we'll go into TBC. And that's what's happening. So we're getting fresh hardcore realms, fresh PvE, fresh PvP. The PvE and PvP realms will eventually become TBC realms after a year from now. The hardcore realms will not. But they're brand new realms. Blizzard does not wipe realms. That's not how they handle fresh starts. When they do a fresh start, it's always them opening a new server, not them resetting an old one. What's the name of the add-on that I'm using to take quests? That's Dialogue UI. And Dialogue UI is the quest pop-up. There are no RP servers, that's true, yeah.
I buy and trade.
That is true, there are no RP, PvP, or RP.
Go with honor, friend.
You feel excited for tomorrow, but a little sick because you're not ready. That's how I feel too. Yeah, I feel a little bit nauseous. I had the shaman video I put out the other day where I talked about this stuff like at length and like my feelings about the fresh start and the positives and negatives of a fresh start, and like I talked about all these things, and someone was like in a comment, they were like, "You have issues. Maybe you need to quit the game for a while." And I banned that person, but they're not wrong. Like, I do have issues. That's absolutely true. But I don't need to quit WoW for a while. I just need to pick what I want to do and just stick with it. That's all. They named the servers after the Dire Maul tribute run. I had no idea. The server names are some of the weirdest server names. Yeah, I banned them, yeah. I know I have issues. Like, I don't need people telling me the obvious. If all you can do is tell me something obvious, then I don't need that kind of negativity. I like negativity that brings to my mind something new that I didn't know. Like, that kind of negativity is fine. But obviously I have issues. Doesn't need to be said. I don't like the new server names. Yeah, it's nice to know that they pulled them from, like, some kind of reference. Because I think they're all strange and hard to remember. Like, I don't remember any of them to this moment. Usually they pick, like, WoW words that I recognize. Alright, let's make the rest of these. I probably need to sell, like, a bunch of the meat that I'm not gonna cook. Crag boar ribs. I don't have crag boar ribs. I have regular old boar ribs. Which I suppose I don't need. The vulture meat I'm done with. The roasted meat I can sell. The extra murloc eyes I don't need. The intestines, the snouts I don't need. Coyote meat I can live without. Extra livers I can live without. Light feathers can go. I don't need all of these bandages. I feel like one stack of them is fine. Okay. Yeah, I think that's decent. Let's learn the recipe we can learn. Alright, so I am going to put us on a flight for Loch Modan. I am going to take a little break while we're in flight. I need to refill my coffee. I need to get a snack, and then I'll be back. And we're going to play for a little bit more today. And maybe at some point today I'll decide for sure what I want to do. I think I'm going to do a rogue. I think I do want to play a rogue. And now the only things left to decide is every other thing. So we'll see if we can sort that out when I come back. This is a 6.5 minute flight. I might be gone for a little bit longer than that. I might be gone a little bit shorter than that. I'll put us on the break screen, and then I will see you guys on the flip side.
See you later.
Alright, we are back. So, what have we got going on here? I think we have everything to do. I don't think we've done any questing here yet at all. It looks like I grabbed the quest down south at the little Dwarven outpost. So let's grab everything here.
Hi. Safe travels.
What can I do for you?
What's on your mind? See you soon.
If I play Horde side, we don't get any good in music. There's no in music. Unless you count the inn in Tearsfall Glades, which has some of the worst music ever created by mankind. So that's something to think about. Ugly races I hate, and bad music. What a combination. This is stressing me out! It's supposed to be a peaceful stream! Yeah, it's stressful.
What can I do for you?
I think, like, obviously I'm just gonna pick what I want, but I might not be able to do that until tomorrow.
Be good. Keep your feet on the ground.
I really like this character. I'm having a lot of fun on this character. A female human warrior. I don't want to tank. Yeah, I have to avoid warrior for now. Like, warrior might be an alt. Like, down the road, maybe I do a warrior alt. I don't want that to be my main character. I don't want it to be the first character that I do, because I do not want to tank. And, like, it's not that I don't want to tank. It's that it's better if I don't tank. Like, I don't mind tanking, but with how easy it is for me to get distracted while I'm streaming, like, I don't think I should tank. I feel like I have a much better time when we're just, like, following along the group and we're doing DPS and I can chat with you guys about whatever I want. I don't have to worry about, like, getting off on a tangent. I don't have to worry, like, if I lose the group and, like, I'm behind the group and I'm lagging behind, like, it's not really detrimental to anybody else. As long as my numbers are still, like, relatively decent, I don't feel bad about it. But if I'm tanking and I'm lagging behind and I'm slow to move and I'm slow to plan my pull and I'm getting distracted and I'm just like, and then I'm like really negatively impacting other people's progress. So I just don't want to do it. And then also, like, I'm never going to want to tank a raid. I'm never going to want to tank, like, Upper Blackrock Spire. I'm never going to want to tank, like, those endgame dungeons. I just don't want to do it. So I am, I'm gonna avoid the warrior. I'm gonna do a rogue. It's the melee and the momentum that I want, without the need to feel like I'm gonna end up tanking. Body type 2, obviously. obviously. At this point, just to elicit the YouTube comments. I don't know if I'm doing hardcore. Yeah, the rogue can vanish in stealth and hardcore. I don't know if I'm doing hardcore. I know like a lot of people are like starting off on hardcore and then when they die they'll transfer over to like the PvE realm or whatever. But I don't know if I want to do that. I feel like you're either playing hardcore or you're playing progression. Like, I don't know. I feel like, cause like, okay, so like if I play hardcore, I'm not gonna be able to join a guild. Well, I mean, I can join a guild on the hardcore realm, but like I'm not making any traction either joining or making a guild like on the progression era realm. So it's like, what if I live till like level 50? Then I've spent 200 hours like not being in a guild. I've spent 200 hours not making a guild. And then like when I die, I'm like socially starting back with nothing on a new server. It's like, is that really worth it? If what I really want is to play progression and I'm not going to focus on hardcore, is it worth it to start as hardcore? Like, I don't really think that it is. And like, if I want to do a hardcore run, like maybe I'll keep that in recorded series. Like once things slow down a little bit and I have a little bit of time, like I would like to keep hardcore going as recorded series. But I don't think for like the bulk of my gameplay that's gonna make sense. Because what I really want is to eventually progress into TBC. Yeah, you're meant to die. You're gonna die. Like, I'm gonna die. My biggest worry is not like dying. My biggest worry is like how much time do I spend on the hardcore server not playing with people on the regular server before I die. Like, that's my biggest worry, is just wasting my time on the hardcore server to eventually get killed. And I honestly feel like if I want to level up on progression, and if I want to do the dungeons, and if I want to raid, I need to focus on those things. I need to focus on those things, and like, it's gonna be a big journey anyway. We definitely experienced that on the Paladin. So I don't, you know, we're gonna try not to die. Like, no one's ever setting out to try to die. But at the same time, like, I'll be able to maintain a little bit of a better pace. If we don't have to worry about being on hardcore. Like, the pace will be able to be a little bit better. And the cool thing about hardcore is, like, sometimes I like to push my luck in situations and see, like, exactly how much we can handle. It was something I enjoyed in the Paladin playthrough, just seeing, like, how many guys can we pull? How big a camp can we take? And, like, you don't really get to experiment and push yourself that way on hardcore. You can only do that when dying doesn't really matter. Mr. Santa, have a good rest of your night, man. We'll see you next time. Is this hardcore? No. This is classic era on the White Main server, which is a US East PvE server, or PvP server rather. Excuse me. I probably am gonna do a human rogue. I probably am. That's probably like that. When I think about a human rogue, I don't feel any anxiety. When I think about a warrior, I feel like that anxiety of like, oh man, I'm gonna get roped into tanking. I'm gonna end up collecting a bunch of tanking gear. I'm not gonna have DPS gear. I'm gonna get pigeonholed as a tank. It's gonna be a bad time. When I think about playing on the Horde side, I think, you know, I don't really like these races very much. A lot of the areas, I don't like the zones as much. I don't like the questing. I remember this. This is something I do remember. From thinking back again to the Fresh Start server of Maladath, that was our Wrath of the Lich King Fresh Start. I almost forgot. I originally went Horde side for that Fresh Start, and I did a Blood Elf Paladin. By the time I got into Hillsbred Foothills, and I started doing all the Horde questing in the Hillsbred Foothills, I couldn't do it anymore. I wasn't enjoying the Horde side questing, and I ended up re-rolling as a human paladin, and that's how we ended up on Alliance at the beginning of Wrath of the Lich King. Is because I ended up just not enjoying. I got to like level 25. I got pretty far before deciding to like go on a human. And I was able to play a Blood Elf at that time. I was able to I was playing a Blood Elf. It's just that I didn't really enjoy the Horde questing. I almost forgot that. That was the false start. It was like a fresh start, but it was more like a false start. I think I'm done with these guys. Yeah, we don't need any more teeth. We don't need any more kills. We can move on. Let's go north a little ways, and we'll go after the kobolds. There's not surprisingly, there's not a lot of people who are leveling up characters today on Whitemane. This might be the fewest people on Whitemane that I've ever seen when doing a /who. I wonder if we're gonna see like some of the classic era servers, like the ones that are medium population. I wonder if we're gonna see those slip down to low population for a little while after the fresh start. Same thing with hardcore. Like right now, the existing hardcore servers are at a medium population, but I bet those are going to dip down a little bit after tomorrow. Hardcore on the Horde side's dead right now. It's like crickets. Makes sense. Yeah, I think that's gonna continue to be a trend throughout the day. I wonder if eventually like the servers will just empty out. Maybe they'll turn the lights off for a little while. Do we know what time they start tomorrow? Yeah, they're going live at 2 p.m. Pacific time. So whatever your time is, whenever it's 2 o'clock for Blizzard, so for me that's 5 p.m. If you're in the EU, it'll be like 11 or 12 o'clock at night. 2 p.m. PST. $25 hours and 14 minutes. Yep, I'm sure Wowhead has the timer. Positive they have to have a timer ticking down. Oh, it probably would have been nice to have our elixirs going for that one. Let's go ahead and we'll re-up all of our elixirs. Maybe we'll even eat a little bit of buff food because I'm feeling ambitious. Let's come up here to this outpost and we'll grab the quest that takes us into the mine. And that way we can go after the supplies and we can kill kobolds at the same time. Can gnomes be warriors in Classic? Absolutely. Yep, everybody can be warriors in Classic era. I think the first time that a race couldn't be warriors was actually Blood Elves. When Blood Elves launched, they were not able to be warriors. Like, somehow a gnome can be a warrior, but Blood Elves, when they launched, weren't able to be.
I've the finest wares in the land.
Even though they could be paladins.
Watch your back. Here there, off with you. Be good. What's on your mind?
Class recommendations for somebody that's new to the game. There's really not like a bad choice. There are some classes that are a bit more complicated, like that have a lot more going on. Like druids have multiple shape-shifting forms that are all good at different things. I would say like probably avoid druid. Warlocks can be kind of complicated with damage over time abilities unless you're familiar with damage over time abilities and how they work. But most of the classes are good for someone just to pick up and start learning them. Blip, I'm glad you're enjoying the content, man. Thanks for stopping by the stream. I appreciate it. This will be 4 out of 4, and it looks like we have all of the kobold rat ears. So let's get out of here. Fresh start tomorrow? Correct. Yeah, fresh starts tomorrow. Mm-hmm. The big reason you were looking forward to the fresh starts because you want to see the old world full of players again? Yeah, it's going to be good. I will say that, like, I felt when we were playing on Whitemane that there was a pretty healthy population of people. Like, I do feel like there were places you could play. Obviously, like, it's never going to be as much as it is, like, during, like, the first month of a fresh start, right? It's never going to be as big. There's never going to be as many people leveling in the world as that first month of fresh start. So, like, in a way, like, that's always going to be, like, a special period of time. And then things tend to balance out. And I feel like Whitemane is a good place to level up. Not today, because today everyone's offline. But when we were originally leveling up on Whitemane on the Paladin, like, we ran into people all the time. There were people everywhere. And so, you know, depending on where you were playing, like, you had a thriving population. What this does is it gets more people playing in the same place at the same time for a short period. And then eventually, like, some people will quit, some people will go back to their old servers. Like, I think the population obviously is going to be big at first, and it'll probably calm down after, like, the first month or so. We'll see. I love opening day, but I never think that I'm going to get anything done on opening day. To me, opening night is like an experience. You're basically just showing up for a party. Like, you're not really gonna expect to get anything done on opening night. If you get a couple of quests done, like maybe you get out of Northshire Valley, like, that's a big win for an opening night.
Off with you.
I just like to be there for it, so I can see all the people. Like, that is kind of like, that's kind of one of the bad things about layering, is like, with layering you never really get the true sense of like how many people are firing up characters.
Watch your
But yeah,
back.
I always want to be there for the opening night, just like with decent expectations set. But yeah, for a lot of people, it's not worth it. Like, a lot of people take like that first day off. It's like, don't take the first day off. Take the second day off. Take the third day off, because you're not going to get a lot done on the first day. Even if you're someone who's in a time zone where you can play like early in the day, like even if you're in Western time, you get to play at 2 o'clock. Like, I would say, don't bother taking the day off. Take the following days off.
Be good.
It goes live at 2 p.m. Pacific time. So you have to look at Pacific time, 2 p.m., and you got to figure out what that is for you. So for me in the Eastern time zone, that's 5 p.m. If you're someone in the EU, it's like 11 p.m. If you're in Central time, then it's like 4 p.m. So you got to translate Blizzard time into your time. Because everything is going live at the same time. Yeah, what sucks about 5 p.m. is like 5 p.m. is like typically right at dinner time. It's kind of the worst time it could possibly be at. Like 2 p.m. is good, 6 p.m. is good, 5 p.m. is not great. Like basically I'm gonna have dinner like an hour early. Maybe even like an hour and a half early, just to like get dinner done and out of the way. But yeah, typically 5 o'clock is dinner time. I have to make sure I get my name before anyone else. No, I'm not going to. I can't remember the last launch that I actually got my name. I think the last time I got my name, somebody grabbed my name for me, and they were willing to let me have it. Like they deleted the character, and then I made the character. Like that was the last time I got my name. Like I didn't even get it. Somebody held it for me. And then the problem with like people trying to hold it for me is like, then I have to communicate with you to like have you delete the character, then I have to simultaneously make the character, so yeah, it's like good intentions, but the result is still that somebody takes my name. So someone's gonna take my name either way. I'm gonna try, but I have zero expectations about getting my name. And yeah, like don't try to hold my name for me. Yeah, I would much rather like just have a shot at my name. Like, I want it to be me versus the assholes who just don't want me to have my name. I don't want to be competing with people who have good intentions, who are trying to, like, reserve my name for me, so please don't do that. Like, I will get my name or not, and, like, that's fine. But if people are trying to reserve my name, then I'm trying to compete against, like, people trying to do that, and people maliciously trying to steal my name. So it's like, then it's even harder to get my name. And then, you know, there's plenty of special characters. If I can't get my name, there's plenty of special characters I can use. So it's ultimately, it's not even a big deal.
What's on your mind? Be good. See you soon.
Is WoW free to play? No, WoW is pay to play. For Classic, you pay a sub. Modern WoW has a box price, and then you pay a sub. But for Classic, all you need is a sub. There's no box price to pay for Classic. But they do want your money every month forever. So, there is that. But as a consequence of getting your money every month forever, they don't try to sell you shit while you're playing the game. Where, like, most free-to-play games are constantly trying to sell you shit while you're in the middle of playing the game. Like, every time I open a menu in ESO, it's soliciting for me to buy things. So, I like to pay for my games and then have them basically leave me alone. But, you know, to each their own. When it comes to WoW, you have a bunch of different ways to play WoW. The basic distinction is you have Classic WoW, and you have Modern WoW. Modern WoW is Modern WoW, Classic WoW is Classic WoW. And then, like, the problem is Classic WoW comes in a few different flavors. It gets really hard to explain to people, like, all of the different ways that you can play World of Warcraft. Like, I could tell you all the ways you can play WoW, but it's not easy to understand from the outside. But yeah, they basically break down into Classic and Modern. There are huge differences. This right here is Classic Era WoW, which is like the 2004-2005 version of World of Warcraft. And yeah, it's fundamentally a very different game than Modern WoW. Modern WoW is more of like an action game, whereas this is more of an RPG. The games are fundamentally different. There are similarities, like they're set in the same world, they share some of the same characters, but as a video game and as the systems go, they're fundamentally different. What level are we? I don't even know. We're at level 17. Apparently we are now level 17. I haven't been paying too much attention to the level. We're just hanging out, killing time for the rest of the day, so that we can re-roll tomorrow. Tomorrow everybody will be level 1. Well, some people will. Some people will keep on doing whatever they're doing. Have I chosen the class I want to play? Yeah, I'm going to play a rogue. Yep. I've been playing this rogue all day. I've been having a blast on it. And all I want to do is DPS. The only thing I'm going to want to do on the progression servers is DPS, so I might as well play a straight up DPS class that has no other options. And I prefer melee. Melee is more fun for me, so that leaves us with a rogue. And then, you know, once we get to 60 and do some stuff, there's always the opportunity for ults. Much further down the road. For me, the easiest way to describe the difference between modern WoW and classic is that modern WoW is a hamster wheel, and classic WoW is a journey. And yeah, at endgame there's not as much to do, but for me that's good, because the thing I don't like in video games is when they kind of make you feel like you have to get on every week and do X amount of this activity, X amount of this activity, cap out your currencies. Like I don't like the hamster wheel design for modern MMOs. I like my MMOs to feel like RPGs. I like the journey to take some time and to feel like it's relevant to my gameplay experience. And that's just me. I just don't like the repetitive nature of endgame in modern MMOs. And it's the same for all of them. They're all the same. They all set up treadmills of currencies and loot systems, daily and weekly activities, and you grind for character power, and then in the next update you grind for a little bit more character power, and the old character power is basically handed out for free. You're constantly having the work that you put in be invalidated by the next set of loot, next set of currency, by the next patch, and it's just not for me anymore. Blood Moon, have a good rest of your day. We will see you tomorrow. I think we'll try to make a guild if enough people are interested. Yeah, I'd like to have a guild, but only if we have enough people. If not, I'll probably just try to join an established guild, like just a casual guild for a while.
Well met. Keep your feet on the ground. Welcome.
Will the different servers be linked in progression or completely separate? As far as the new servers they're releasing tomorrow, they're all going to progress at the same time. So they're all going to start off prior to raid opening. The first raid comes out on the 12th, and then we'll see like regular patches probably like every 3 or 4 months after that. And they're all going to progress together. If that's your question. All the new realms, however many they end up making, are going to progress together. Besides the hardcore realm, which will not be moving into TBC. The other new realms will eventually move into TBC, but the hardcore realms will not move into TBC. At least so far they've said that they won't move them into TBC. I guess they could always go back on that if they wanted to. Is it every 2 months for the patches? Yeah, I didn't really look. I feel like take everything on the roadmap with a grain of salt, though.
Here there.
Like, regardless of the dates they put out now, regardless of what the roadmap shows, I would say like they've definitely changed roadmaps in the past. They've drastically altered their Cataclysm approach. So I would say just like be wary of any current roadmaps.
Off with you.
We have to go back to the south to turn in the Trog questing. You didn't understand the part where they said TBC is too random and difficult for hardcore? You didn't understand it, my friend, because it doesn't make sense. It's a bullshit statement because they had to say something, and for some reason they think people are stupid and that people won't think about it at all. And I guess they think that people don't know the different versions of their game and how they work. Yeah, they said the reason that we're not getting TBC Hardcore is that TBC introduces a level of challenge and randomness that does not suit Hardcore. So not only are they completely wrong, but now they've anointed themselves as the arbiters of what suits the spirit of Hardcore and what does not suit the spirit of Hardcore. Where really, it should be the players and the fans who decide what suits the spirit of Hardcore and what doesn't. And we do that by choosing where we want to play Hardcore and WoW. Like, that should be how it works. But yeah, in reality, TBC got easier. The classes were all more powerful. All of the elites in the open world were mostly removed. The majority of elite quests were made into single solo player quests, and the content as far as like dungeons got a lot more straightforward and easier to navigate. So everything in TBC actually got easier, and things got less random. If anything, it's easier and less random than vanilla. So yeah, they just made up some words. They didn't know what they were talking about. They didn't think anybody else would know what they were talking about either. And so that went into their official blue post.
Keep your feet on the ground.
Because of lack of knowledge of the game and lack of oversight, we get statements like that. That absolutely makes sense. What they should have said was simply, we have no plans to do TBC Hardcore right now. That's all they had to say. They didn't have to make up an excuse that doesn't stand up to any kind of scrutiny. They could have just said, hey, we're not doing this right now. We don't want to. We don't want to do this right now. Cool, great. You don't want to do TBC Hardcore right now. Totally fine.
No.
But yeah, what they said was horseshit.
Safe travels.
It sounds a lot like you think you want it, but you don't. Yeah, exactly. Right, don't tell us what we want. We know what we want. We know what we want better than them because, like, we play the game, and for the most part, they don't. Especially when it comes to hardcore. I don't think it's fair to say that they get to decide what the spirit of hardcore is. There were lots of people playing Wrath of the Lich King hardcore with the add-on. Like, back when the add-on was super popular. So what will happen is this. When the classic era servers move to TBC, people will start doing TBC hardcore with the add-on. You know, that community will probably spring back up on one of the servers, where they'll start doing TBC hardcore with the add-on again. Because I think it is something people want. Yeah, the add-on creator will make it work in TBC. Yeah. Like, yeah, for sure. Like, people will be doing it with the add-on as soon as TBC opens up. There will be people doing hardcore runs with the add-on. Guaranteed. What they should have learned with Bloodsail Buccaneers and Hydraxian Waterlords is that hardcore does not need their support in order for hardcore to be popular. Hardcore was popular before they supported it. It was arguably at its peak before they opened up their own servers. And hardcore does not rely on them to support it in order for it to be popular or in order for it to be good. And maybe they'll learn that when a bunch of people are playing TBC Hardcore with the add-on a year from now. I guess if I really need it, Gouge will serve as another interrupt, won't it? It must. So that's really cool. When you think about it, we have 2 interrupts at like a really, really young level. Yeah, it does. It stops casting. Now, it doesn't lock them out of the tree. And Kick locks them out of the tree for 5 seconds. So it's not as good as an actual interrupt, I guess. But in a pinch to like stop a heal, it could be good. I like the Gouge and then Bandage. Gouge Bandage was a good combo. Have Blizzard reverted back to the classic era UI? I mean, this is classic era, and that's why the UI is classic. Classic era has never not had the classic era UI. We got the modern guild window for a while, I'm not in a guild, so I can't showcase it. We got the modern guild window, but the UI has always been classic. Yeah, for the guild, it's a toggle now. So now you get to choose whether you want the classic one in classic or you want the post cataclysm one, which is what it should have always been an option. Because some people prefer the new one, but in cataclysm it's fine, but in classic era it just looks weird. So I'm happy they had an option now to turn it off. Ooh, a chest. I will say this, I hope on our rogue run on the fresh server, I hope we find at least one epic. I was pretty disappointed when we leveled the paladin all the way up to 60, and we never found an epic. I feel like everybody should get one epic world drop if they level all the way up to 60. Like, it should happen at some point. Most of my characters, it's happened at least once. On the paladin, nothing. We didn't even get a lot of good blues on the pally. The pally got a couple of blues, but nothing really mind-blowing. So I'm hoping we have better RNG luck when we level the rogue up. I don't even need it to be like an epic. I don't even want an epic I can use. I want an epic that I can sell. That would be ideal. I feel like the RNG should work out so that if you level up to 60, you should see at least one epic. I feel like that's been the case most of the time. The pally just had bad luck. An epic from a random, just a random world drop, yeah. I want to get at least one random epic. It's one of those things that makes the playthrough like really memorable when that happens. When you just get like a couple of really awesome world drops. Oh my god, another player, 2 other players? Impossible. How dare they? Oh look, the number of players is slowly going down. By the end of the day, there will be nobody left. I mean, it's surprisingly though, it's not dead. Lots of people are still leveling, like level 5 characters, 26 of them found. Level 6 characters, 30 people found. Like, people are still actively leveling up young characters on this server. I kind of expected there to be, like, no real young characters. Like, I didn't expect to find as many people at a low level. Because you'd think, like, a lot of people would just wait till tomorrow. I think there's a population of people that have no intention of going into the head start tomorrow. I think there's a lot of people like that. They just don't have any, like, and maybe they're gonna jump over there when TBC comes out to experience TBC.
See you soon.
But if you're somebody with a couple of level 60s, and maybe you got a group to do some raids, maybe you PvP, maybe you just got a lot of money on the server, like, then you're probably not somebody who's super excited to have a fresh start.
Keep your feet on the ground.
It looks like New Classic is a bust. Complete bust. No, it won't be a bust. But I do think there's a population of people that don't have any interest in it right now. And I think those people will probably be more interested in it once TBC is out. But, you know, that's not for another year, so... Is there going to be just one Fresh Start Hardcore server? What they've said is that there's going to be one server of each type. So there will be one Hardcore, one PvE, and one PvP. But they also said they're not opposed to opening up more servers if they absolutely have to. But with these servers, they're kind of touting mega servers. So they're kind of saying, they said these are very big servers that can hold lots and lots of people. So we'll see. Yeah, right now the plan is for one. But by tomorrow at midnight, there could be one, there could be three. I don't know. No fresh sod, sadly, no. Sorry, sod fans. No fresh start sod for you. No sod TBC for you. I feel bad for people that, like, exclusively play sod. They don't even know, like, what's gonna happen to their characters at the end of it all. Like, no, Blizzard probably doesn't even know. It's like they're playing in this seasonal game that, like, it has an expiration date. And they don't even get to know what happens once that date is there. They don't know what happens to the characters, what happens to their progress. It's a scary place to be. Yep, Sod's got 2 more phases. 2 more phases, and then maybe we'll get to find out what Blizzard plans to do with those characters after the season ends. I remember, like, before the season came out, there was an interview where they said that Sod characters will have somewhere interesting to go. Whatever that means. What in the hell is somewhere interesting to go? It's probably the Shadowlands. You just get ejected right into the maw. You don't have any gear, and you're level 1. And you just have to grind your way up to max level in the maw. And then once you do that, then you get to go play Cataclysm. After that, it opens up a transfer to the Cataclysm servers. Except they might be Mista Pandaria servers by the time Sod ends. somewhere. They go to retail. They belong in retail. Or even Cataclysm. Like, the characters would be more at home. With the kinds of activities they've been doing, at least, they'd probably be more at home in Cataclysm or MoP or retail. They're not coming to Classic Era, I can tell you that. So, we will see. I'm glad that I don't have to worry about it. Do I have any excitement or interest in player housing? I mean, player housing is really cool. I'm not a retail player. So, like, I'm not playing Modern WoW right now. I like the idea of player housing. I'd love to have it. But as far as, like, being excited for it in WoW, like, I can't really be because I very much doubt I'll be playing Midnight. If they let me have a house and a farm, and if I can somehow progress my character by only working on those two things, and then maybe I'd come back and play Modern WoW as like a house decorating. I'll play it like the way you might play like Animal Crossing. That'd be more interesting to me than like the current like game design of Modern WoW. Is if I can just log in and play it like a farming housing sim.
How are ya?
Watch your
Great
back.
to meet you.
No, I mean the garrison? Oh no, the garrisons were awful. The garrisons were awful, and they just became a place where you had to go every day to do chores.
Be good.
It was like cleaning your room every day. You had to go to your garrison, you had to mine all the stuff in your mine. You had to go to your command table and send your guys out. Then later you had to check the mobile app and like get them back and send some more guys out. Like, yeah, the garrison was a place you went to do chores. And the problem with that is that they weren't fun. They weren't fun chores, and they never felt like they rewarded you in a way that was good. So, like, chores in a game can be okay when the chores are interesting, when they're fun, when the rewards are good. Like, it can be okay. But garrisons were not good. I did not. I wanted to like my garrison, and I just didn't like my garrison. Quella Coco, thanks for the super. I appreciate that. Thanks for being here. Have a good rest of your night. We'll see you next time. Yeah, they were a great idea, poorly executed. Exactly. They were cool in theory. I remember looking forward to them before they existed. And then as soon as they existed, I was like, no, this is not good. Oh god, this guy's level 20. Level 20, you say? Okay. This might be fine. Let's pop a little potion. Maybe I can do a gouge bandage? Okay, that was effective a little bit. There we go, we got him. I don't really know if I can take 2 of them. With potions on cooldown, I popped evasion. For whatever that's gonna be worth. It's gonna be close. We got him with 18 HP. 18 HP. Thanks to gouge and like 2 ticks of a bandage. Without the 2 ticks of the bandage, we'd have died. Very close. Much fun. 17 more HP than I needed. Exactly. The rogue is definitely a class that feels like it can punch up a little bit. You know what I mean? It feels like we can take on guys like at our own level and a little bit higher pretty easily. And not every class feels that way. The paladin certainly didn't feel that way. The paladin, it always felt best to be fighting stuff that was a few levels beneath us, at least 3 levels beneath us. But yeah, the rogue feels like it has the power to punch up. And I like that. It gives you a little bit more flexibility about like when you tackle certain quests. Like this quest on any other class, I probably would hold off on this until I was like level 23. But on the rogue, it feels good. Have I ever played RuneScape 3? I have never played any RuneScape. I missed the boat on that one. You never get tired of the music? Me either. Me either. And the Alliance side has much better music than the Horde side. That's like the other thing we have to talk about. It's like, in my opinion, the music on the Alliance side is simply better. Do I prefer Horde or Alliance? I prefer Alliance. Yeah, the Horde... Besides Blood Elves, the Horde doesn't have any good races. I definitely prefer Alliance. I like all of the Alliance races. I don't tend to play gnomes, but I don't really have anything against gnomes. The camera perspective is too low, and they get hidden by the ground clutter a lot of the time. So I don't tend to play them, but I have nothing against them. Did I try Lord of the Rings Online? Yeah, I tried Lord of the Rings Online back when it first came out. And then I tried it recently. It's not for me. It's just what it wasn't for me. I did try it out very recently. For a game that came out after WoW had been out for a while, I don't feel like it picked a graphic style or an art style that really aged well. You know how like classic WoW still looks good to this day. And like I remember the Lord of the Rings online game like looking good when it first came out. And like I remember being kind of impressed with it when it first came out. But it didn't age well over time, because when I looked at it recently I was like, well, this is not going to be something that I want to look at for hundreds of hours. But I'm pretty shallow when it comes to stuff like that. Like I either like the way a game looks or I don't. And if I don't like the artwork and I don't like the aesthetic, especially when it's an RPG, it's like it's really hard for me to get into it. Yeah, I wanted to like it because there aren't a lot of classic MMOs, you know? So I wanted to like it. I tried it out. When it comes to classic MMOs, I'm really looking forward to Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. That's a new classic MMO coming out to early access in December. So I'm hoping that'll be good. And just give us like more variety of like old school MMOs to play and kind of set a precedent for people making new MMOs that have more of an old school vibe. I hope it does well. Three of these guys is probably going to be a little bit too much. I think this is a good time to run right into a bunch of other guys. Yes. There we go. Okay, we got 5 seconds left on sprints. Is that going to be enough time to get away? Possibly. It's possible that we leash all these guys. Yeah, 3 guys was one too many. 4 guys was a nail in the coffin. There we go. Final Fantasy XIV is good if you want story. Like, if what you're looking for is just a big JRPG story, like, arguably one of the best JRPG stories ever crafted, then FF14's for you. What it's not, it's not like an MMORPG. a lot of things have been stripped away from it over time. And like basically like leveling up in the game amounts to doing 300 hours of story content. And that's basically all you do while you level up. You level up by doing the 300 hours of story content. You have to do all of it. You have to follow the MSQ and do all of the story content. And then at the end of that, you're max level. And then you can start doing modern MMO stuff. Like raiding or like their equivalent of mythics. But there isn't really much of a journey outside of just like you travel from place to place progressing the main story. And so like unless you're really invested in that main story, it's gonna get really boring just traveling around and like basically reading a bunch of text or watching a bunch of cutscenes. It kind of plays out like a visual novel. It's kind of how like leveling up in FF14 plays out. And like all the dialogue and all the writing is really good. But if you're trying to get that feel of like being in a world and like it just that feeling doesn't exist in 14 anymore. It used to. When 14 first came out as a Realm Reborn, like you couldn't just do the main story to level up. You had to do like other RPG things, like side quests, like guild levies, like running the dungeon more than once. Like it played a lot more like an actual MMORPG back when it first came out. And then, you know, once it had 300 hours of story, they had to streamline it. And now it's like super streamlined, down to just the MSQ basically. Alex, good afternoon, good evening, man. Welcome to the stream. Amy, you put the food in the oven. I appreciate that. I saw that you had assembled some, like, utensils and some pots and pans, and I wasn't sure, like, what was going on, because I thought I was making dinner. But then I saw that stuff, and I was like, okay, maybe I'm not making dinner today. So you've essentially made the dinner. It's in the oven right now. Okay. So the food is in the oven that goes in the oven, but I'm assuming that means the stuff that doesn't go in the oven is still just up there. Okay. I understand what you're saying. I think. Which is that I have food to cook and prepare soon. I think I'm picking up what you're throwing down. We're done with the quest. Maybe we've been done with the quest for a while and I haven't noticed. I have just kind of gotten into a nice flow of mindlessly killing trogs. Which is always fun. The quest is done, yeah, exactly. Robert, the quest has been done for a minute, by the way. Yeah, I notice these things a little late sometimes. Oh, it's basically already... Oh, okay, so you have 2 dishes that went into the oven. You put the chicken into the oven, and then what were the other things? They were like scallopy potato things? Potato scales. You put the potato scales in the oven too, I take it. See, I had originally been planning to make rice, but yeah, the potato scales are better. Yeah. When's fresh start? Tomorrow at 2 o'clock... Blizzard Standard Time. So you gotta find out, like, what time is it your time when it's 2 o'clock Blizzard Standard Time. That's when the Fresh Start servers open up, so it completely depends on what time zone you're in. Like, I'm in Eastern Time Zone, it's 5 o'clock for me. Right at the dinner, right now, right at the dinner bell. 24 hours from this moment, I will be spamming the login button. Maybe even the reconnect button, depending on how they deploy. I don't know how they're gonna do it. But yeah, we'll be trying to log in at this time tomorrow. And we'll see how that goes. Will I start a guild? If I have enough people interested. Like, guilds in Classic Era have to be kind of big. Like, you need 40 people to raid. And so, like... You know, I got 140 of you guys here hanging out right now. But I would bet that maybe only like 50 of you are probably planning to play in the Fresh Start tomorrow. And like of those 50, a smaller fraction of people will play in the region that I'm playing on. And of those people, a smaller number of people will play the faction that I choose. And so by the time we whittle all that down, like I don't know how many people are going to be interested. You know, I'd love to have a guild. Even if it ended up being just like a leveling guild that we were doing 5-mans. Like, I want to raid. But if we have a leveling guild, like I can pug raids. I can find a different way to raid, you know? But it depends. See, yeah, if I go EU, then half of you are down. If I go US, half of you are down. Like, it's either way. Everything I do whittles down possible people. And so, yeah. Like... Either way, like, some people that want to play with me are not going to be able to, etc. I don't know. I still don't know what I'm going to do. I might just go US. I might go US Rogue Alliance. Like, I might do that. I really don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of like, I don't even like having all the options. It's too many options for me. It's too, yeah, right, like the US or EU, it's too many options. I kind of like, I kind of wish these options were never given to me. What is this called? It's the burden of choice. Yeah, I'm definitely laden with the burden of choice.
How are you?
It's an onerous burden, and I don't like it.
Be good.
I wish some of these choices were just made for me by circumstances. Instead of me having to be personally responsible for all of them.
Keep your feet on the ground.
What are you gonna do?
You got my attention. See you soon.
But yeah, we'll decide what we're gonna do tomorrow. We'll decide tomorrow what we're gonna do. And I think I'm gonna play a rogue. Like, no matter what I do, I'm probably gonna play a rogue. I really just want to make this character on the Fresh Start realms, like the exact same character, because I'm having a lot of fun. This was the character that I thought I was going to be playing. Like, after I leveled up the Paladin to 60, I thought I was going to go on this character. And a couple things happened to stop that from happening. You know, like, I had to leave Whitemane, which was a big bummer. I had to finish the journey on Man Creek, which was not as enjoyable as playing on Whitemane by any stretch of the imagination. It just wasn't as fun. Then hardcore kind of got popular, so we jumped back into hardcore, and like I kind of got derailed from like getting back to this character, and I didn't know when I'd have the opportunity to return to it. So part of me just wants to remake this character tomorrow, because that's the big journey that I saw myself on when I was wrapping up the leveling on the Paladin. Like, I was super excited to get into this character and to learn the rogue. I really like the pacing of combat. And I really don't want to tank or heal. And I feel like, you know, obviously on a rogue, that's not an option, so I won't be swayed. But yeah, that's it. I have a few more things to think about and consider, but I will get it all sorted out by tomorrow. I might come on early in the day, and maybe we'll hang out for a little bit, and then I'll go make dinner, and then we'll come back at 5 o'clock or a little bit before 5 for the server launch. Either way, if I do come on earlier in the day, I'll get that scheduled so you guys can see it. I'm going to take off now and make sure that dinner finishes cooking itself and all that stuff. So yeah, thanks guys for being here. I really appreciate all the support. Have a great rest of your afternoon or evening, and we will see you back here tomorrow. Bye for now.